Listen up, y'all. Donald Trump is going down. And you know what's going down with him? White European Jesus. Because this image, which has always been false, we know it's false, has been a signal for too long that Jesus the Christ belongs to white people. But you know what? Jesus was a brown-skinned Palestinian Jew. We know roughly what his skin looked like. And let me assure you, it wasn't pasty white. Yet we have continued to represent him this way. And it's a slap in the face to our black and brown brothers and sisters all over the globe. And it's time for this image to come down and for this entire white supremacist system to come down right along with it.
Somebody said to me that if Jesus is black, heaven is a ghetto. Everywhere black people live is a damn ghetto. Why should I be yelling at the white man? Hell, if it wasn't for him, we'd all probably be dead from diseases and sickness. Or hell, we each other. It wasn't for the white man. The white man built America. You say, the slave built America. Don't they cover that lie? I'll slap the taste out of your mouth. You ain't built nothing. Half the time what you did build as a slave, the white man had to whoop your ass with a whoop to get you to do that little bit of work that you did do. It to whoop your ass to get it done. Talking about we built America. You ain't built a damn thing. Don't own a damn thing. None of it. You had Harlem, you threw that away. No, thank God for the white man. Thank God. He's built America and some other safe places. Built airlines so you can ride around on. Built automobiles. Hell, y'all ain't got one nation in Africa have built a car talking that damn talk. The only thing y'all can do is play basketball, run up and down the court like a bunch of double-jointed fools.
Imagine if the Lord Jesus came as a black American. Sorry, I don't mean anything wrong in him. Like, I love the black Americans. They're stunning people. And I mean it. They're really stunning. And their faith moves mountains. Oh, if you want to learn from them, learn faith. The black Americans hold the Christian faith, not the whites. But imagine, like, Jesus came as a black American. He would have been cool, bro. Yo, what's up, brother? Imagine, like, he says, hey, lend me some skin, bro. What's up? What's up? What's up in the man? Hey, what's up? Hey, bro, what's up? Yeah. Truly, I said to you, my man. That would have been cool. But the Lord is the black American, is the Mr. Mahatma Gandhi, he's the Indian, he's the Chinese, he's the Australian, he is the Canadian, he is everyone. He's the creator of everyone. He is everyone. And everyone is the Lord.
Now look, sisters, you are the one that give birth to us. If you don't like black, how you gonna like your black child?
Jesus was a white man too, but you know, it's like he was a historical figure. I mean, that's a verifiable fact, as is Santa. I just want the kids watching to know that.
But there are many who question the authenticity, shall we say, of Santa Claus and Jesus. Where she lost me was a Jesus thing. What do theologians say about the color of Jesus' skin?
Well, when we look at Jesus as a historical figure, you're talking about somebody from the 1st century who lived in the Middle East. So in all likelihood, he would have had an olive complexion. We don't really know. What we do know is how artists have depicted him over the years. And like you said, just like with Santa Claus, oftentimes cultures will, it's almost a mirror of who's doing the depiction as to what Jesus turns out. When you go to Jamaica, you see a Jamaican Jesus. When you go to countries in Asia, you'll often see an Asian-looking Jesus. And here in the United States and in North America and Europe, you see a very
I want to say that, Eric.
Jesus.
I want to say that to Eric and Jamel. When you mentioned Jamel and Santa Claus and black families, I mean, you're talking about ornaments and pictures, but not in every black family's home that I went to as a kid that they had black Santas or black Jesus. There were some white Jesuses hanging up on the wall in black homes. As I was researching this, I was researching Santa Claus even in Africa. The traditional American depiction of Santa stands even in countries that are black. So isn't it kind of up to people to decide what their Santa and what their Jesus looks like, Jamel?
What color was Jesus? I was asked this today outside of the metro stop. I was administering ashes for Ash Wednesday, and this young black guy walks straight up to me and he says, "What color was Jesus?" And I am so glad that I know the right answer. because in my younger years, I would have said something completely different and completely wrong. And I told him, Jesus was black. And his face lit up. And he said, I never imagined in my wildest dreams that a white priest would admit that Jesus was black. And here's the thing, Jesus was obviously dark-skinned. That's unquestionable. But he was also ontologically black. He was born into an oppressive empire, and his life was threatened from day one. Outside of the metro stop, I was administering ashes for Ash Wednesday, and this young black guy walks straight up to me, and he says, what color was Jesus? And I am so glad that I know the right answer, because in my younger years, I would have said something completely different and completely wrong. And I told him, Jesus was black, and his face lit up, and he said, I never imagined in my wildest dreams that a white priest would admit that Jesus was black. And here's the thing, Jesus was obviously dark-skinned. That's unquestionable. But he was also ontologically black. He was born into an oppressive empire, and his life was threatened from day one. He knew what it was like to be hunted and to have the illusion of freedom. As James Cone said, the cross of Christ was the lynching tree in America. Jesus was lynched by Rome, just like so many black people in America. I'm not sure why Jesus being black is so threatening to some white Christians, but it is. You'll find out in the comments. So if it's threatening to you, maybe this Lent is an opportunity to go inward and find out why your Jesus needs to be white. Because Jesus was absolutely black. And that truth matters because if we are going to have a relationship with him, we need to recognize him first. I love you.
Jesus wasn't a white European, okay? It's Jesus of Nazareth, not Jesus of Newcastle. Do you think the three wise men popped into Waitrose on their way to the manger? Do you think Mary got a cheeky Greggs on her way to the stable? They didn't eat pork either, so I would recommend the vegan sausage roll. Then afterwards she grabbed a meal deal, popped herself on a donkey and trotted up the M6. Do you think Jesus gave the Sermon on the Mount in a Brummie accent? Do you think Matthew, Mark, Peter and John were their real names? You don't worship Jesus, you worship race. Someone told me once that the reason why Christian nationalists think that Christianity is for white people is because they've made Jesus appear white, even though he's brown. And that's because they can't fathom the idea of worshipping a man who is brown-skinned. And I think she had a really good point. Jesus is a brown man. His mother wore a headscarf. If he came back today with no paperwork, no passport, I don't think any European country would actually let him in.
You remember, since Putin came out to address to the whole world that Jesus was black and they are going to start worship black Jesus, a lot of white people came out to dislike it. They are pissed. They are saying, no. How come are we going to start worshiping black Jesus? Guys, let's dive into
Hebrew identity with European imagery. Let me say that again. Rome replaced Hebrew identity with European, go study that, imagery. The Messiah's Hebrew name, Yahusha, was changed to a Greek-Latin hybrid. Jesus, Jesus, J-E-S-U-S. Artists like Leonardo da Vinci and Michael D'Angelo painted him in their own likeness, white, European, and Western looking. These images were then used by colonizing powers. If you don't know what colonizing is, you need to go study it. It will be well worth your time. Spain, Britain, and Portugal, etc., to justify conquest and conversion, teaching the colonized world. Now, you've got to get a hold of this. Teaching the colonized world of a Savior who looked just like their oppressors. This became religious propaganda. That's what you've been worshiping. A tool to make conquered people feel spiritually inferior and dependent on European deliverance. There's a message within this message. You just got to be able to see it. The deeper agenda, control, not covenant. Religion has nothing to do with covenant relationship with the Father. Has nothing to do with it.
So I have a question.
What race was Jesus?
White. I mean, he was born Middle Eastern, you could say that.
Hebrew identity with European imagery. Let me say that again. Rome replaced Hebrew identity with European, go study that, imagery. The Messiah's Hebrew name, Yahusha, was changed to a Greek-Latin hybrid. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Artists like Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo painted him in their own likeness, white, European, and Western looking. These images were then used by colonizing powers. If you don't know what colonizing is, you need to go study it. It will be well worth your time. Spain, Britain, and Portugal, etc., to justify conquest and conversion, teaching the colonized world. Now, you've got to get a hold of this. Teaching the colonized world of a Savior who looked just like their oppressors. This became religious propaganda. That's what you've been worshiping. A tool to make conquered people feel spiritually inferior and dependent on European deliverance. There's a message within this message. You just got to be able to see it. The deeper agenda, control, not covenant. Religion has nothing to do with covenant relationship with the Father. Has nothing to do with it.
So I have a question. What race was Jesus?
White. I mean, he was born Middle Eastern, you could say that.
So this post recently went viral. First of all, shout out Putin for this. You know what I'm saying? He opened up a box from one of the oldest Orthodox churches, I guess, in Russia. It was just one of the oldest Orthodox churches on the planet, pretty much, and revealed that Jesus and all the prophets in the Bible were black. It's causing an uproar all around the world. They're on the internet calling it false, you know, the fact check bots and shit like that. But we all know, if you just look at the description, skin like bronze, hair like wool, only race on the planet.
That's where I was going with it.
Only race. Look at this hair. Look at this shit. Hair like wool. Go look at wool on a sheep. There's only one race on the planet whose hair defies gravity. Our hair can grow up. Everybody else's hair grows down. You know what I'm saying? We're the only race that has melanin. So they basically described the black man. All the paintings were of black people. All the prophets were of black people. Two-part question. How do y'all feel about this? Now, this is something I've always known. This is not news to me. You know what I'm saying? But I also have a theory that if the world was to recognize Jesus as black and all the prophets, I think the world would start to go towards a more satanic route, where people would probably damn near stop believing in God. I don't think all the races of the world could sit there and pray to black prophets and black Jesus. I don't believe it.
That's fine to me because we're God's people. That's the only people. You get what I'm saying to me? Then that maybe that's what that's saying, is that maybe you're not God's people.
Do you believe that the world could accept, if the government came out today and said, yeah, this is true, we hid this from the world? Because the number one defense people say is, well, why does color matter? Mm-hmm. Like, they don't want to, even if they recognize it, they say, okay, it's true, but why does color matter? And I always say, if color didn't matter, why change it in the first place? If it didn't truly matter, why couldn't it be recognized what they truly are as black people?
I think it depends on the age bracket, because it's not by coincidence that, like we say, we are the strongest influences and we mold certain things. People take our styles. They do a lot of different shit. So unconsciously, they already been praising us like gods. You know what I'm saying? And understanding, doing what they did to hide that. Like I say this shit so fucking much that they recognize the greatness in us that we don't even see. And I don't know what the hatred, where it came from, but at the end of the day, we are gods. You know what I'm saying? I feel like God lives within us. I don't necessarily believe that we're separated. You all have a God consciousness, a God spirit already within you. So that's why I think we got to get to, and that's why they take away our history. Because like I say, if we down there invented everything, black people can create any color baby. So, so for people to even think that half of y'all had to come from us, because y'all couldn't do the shit that we do. So I think it's going in a good direction. I'm glad it popped up. You know what I'm saying? And how you feel about that, Stuart?
Bro, that's easy money, bro. That's low hanging fruit, bro. I feel like we speaking on something that's it's like the worst hidden secret. We all know that Jesus is black. We all know that Moses himself, he was in Egypt. There is no pale people in Egypt, bro. It's too damn hot, especially working out there. Like, let's just be real. Like, it's certain things like, bro, this is low hanging fruit. I think at this point right now, we're just kind of emphasizing on the people who don't know, which is like young, ignorant people who are not maybe religious or anything like that. But I feel like once you got a certain form of age on you and you got some form of trials and tribulation, we all turn to God in some form of way. So you go read, whether it's the Quran, the Bible, wherever the case may be. It's the ones who's not as religious as others. But I feel like this is low hanging fruit. This is no shocker to me at all.
If this was like thousands of years ago, it would probably be a uprising, you know, for us as people to find out that he was black, you know, it'd be some sort of religious uprising. Now, I don't think people could accept it. I think people would still find somebody out there with some sort of research paper with something to justify that he's not that. So to me, that's what I kind of see about it. I don't think that white people or a majority of people will be able to accept that bro is black, even though there's clues in the Bible.
You can. It's only so long you can deny the truth. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we seeing now in this day and age. I even seen a thing where they had the parade in Italy where they had the black woman on the Statue of Liberty. You know what I mean? So things is getting exposed, and not every white person goes against us. You know what I mean? Now it's a large percentage, but like you say, some people do actually view things as like humans before they view race. Like, I don't necessarily just see you as black or whatever the case is. I see you as a human, and depending on what type of character you are is the way I deal with you. So I look at it like that. But I'm glad it came out. You know what I mean? This is good news for people that ain't. And that's why I say.
Reason it matters that Jesus is black? Yeah, I know what you're saying. It doesn't matter. It matters, bro. We stole an entire identity from these people.
Is it not valid when we say it? Because haven't we been saying that for years? Like, ever since I was a little kid. And I'm in my 30s now. So that's at least 30 years black people been saying we're the original man and we're indigenous to this country and all that. But now that it's famous on social media, you just listen to it. So now it just became valid to you. That's what it is. Now that something has become valid to white people, they have to white-splain it. That's what it is. I was like, what's going on here? Because I've been seeing these videos and I'm like, what's going on here? That's what it is. That's why you're not reposting videos of us explaining it. You're explaining it yourself so that you can make money off of a wave that already has traction. You want in on our awakening. Of course. How white of you?
Now listen to me carefully, brothers and sisters.
Please forgive us. As I speak, I'm going to ask the white Americans in the room to please repeat after me. On behalf of myself and on behalf of my country, to you and all African Americans, from the beginning of our nation's history, in honor of your ancestors and on behalf of your children, please hear this from my heart. I apologize. Please forgive us. With this prayer, I acknowledge the depth of the evils that have been perpetrated against black people in America. From slavery to lynchings to white supremacist laws, to the denial of voting rights, to all the ways, both large and small, all of them evil, all of them wrong, for all the oppression and all of the injustices. I apologize. Please forgive us for the denial of any civil rights, for inequalities in criminal justice, to any instances of police brutality, to the denial of opportunity, for economic injustice, for any ways that a racial element